All right, so today we're gonna actually dig out my 240 coupe for now and start getting it prepped and ready for the LS to go back in it. It had the JZ in it at one point, and we ended up breaking the JZ, so now it just sits on the stand for now until I decide what I'm gonna do with it. So we're gonna pull this out, get it prepped, and ready for the LS to go in it. Alright, so this is my 240 SX S13 coupe. I have 2F wide body rears for it, full quarters, tube front, tube rear, fuel cell, fully caged, essentially ready to go. I had a 1JZ non-VVTi in it. And we spent 4 hours on the dyno one day on a brand new engine and shut it down at about 450, unstrapped the car, went to start it back up, and it rod knocked on startup with a brand new engine. So pulled the engine. We have everything ordered to potentially rebuild it. The problem we're having is machine shop costs currently, because I have 87mm CP pistons, Molnar rods, BC cams, cammed gears, yada yada yada, to build the engine. I just don't have the time right now or the funds to put it back in the machine shop to have everything gone through again for the third time now. So we are going to just take the LS that was in my BMW, and the dog box, and we're just going to put it in here for now. I believe I have just about everything put in it, so it will just be, should be a fairly straightforward mounting and wiring essentially, and hopefully have this thing up and going in the next couple weeks, I hope. So, but first we're going to strip all the old wiring harness out of it. And if anybody's wondering, that is water to air for the 1J when I had it in here. Alright, sometimes they're just a little more stiff than you really want to deal with. So we're going to try and get the rest of the exhaust off. So we got the downpipe off. Now we're just going to get the back half off. That should be it right there. Alright, so we're going to try and get the rest of the exhaust out. One more big piece. And there we go. All right. Alright, looks like most of everything in the engine bay is done. So we're going to go in the car, work on getting the dash out, the wiring pulled through the firewall, and finish stripping it down. Okay, so I think we got everything undone for the Mega Squirt MS3 Pro that was in here for the 1J. So let's see if we can kind of get things to come out. And oh, looks like I missed one. Found our alignment tool. Just happen to have one that actually works for Chevy. Lucky me. So we got first disc in. We are running a twin disc in this engine. So first disc is in with the secondary plate. So Now we got the top plate. Alright, trans is back on there. Time to get the bolts back out. Tighten it back up. Okay, so here's what we got going on with the coupe and what we got done the last couple days. We ended up getting the engine back in it. Valve covers are now back on it. Fresh valve cover gaskets. New rings are in it. Bearings were still good. We might have to put a new water pump on it because this water pump is set up for the rear mount. And I don't know if I'm going to go rear mount in this car. I kind of think it'd be quicker and easier to just put a normal radiator in it, which I think I have one laying around. The other thing we did as well is we ended up getting the interior redone a little bit, so at least it looks a little better. It's not as gross as it was, and it's not so many different colors, so I'm fairly happy with it. We got the dog box in. At this point, I think we just need to get the intake back on it, get the wiring back in it, radiator in it, and I had to have a driveline made for it or modified to fit in it for the Jericho. So we'll get this idea done, this project done, and move on to the other project that's in my trailer, which kind of moves on its own now. It's more of my project I really want to work on. This was actually supposed to be a fairly quick project that has kind of turned into a longer project than it should have been, due to for some unforeseen things and some complications with some people. So we're now back on track. And we will work on getting this back on track for now while we get the other car finished up. All right. Like and subscribe. Really helps me out. And let's keep going.